Today was a good day. I woke up and did nothing until now. So holidays are great right now. Today's video is somewhat of a educational video, as I will want to enlighten you about Japan by going through the most asked questions about Japan or Japanese or the Japanese people on Google. So when you type something into Google, down below you will get a few suggestions about what other people typed into Google so that you can type in the exact same thing other people typed in already and boost the algorithm with these very insignificant questions that you should probably not be asking, but anyway, people click on them and then they get more traction and thus are further up in these suggestions. And Google is just a very strange place when it comes to suggestions sometimes. So today I want to see what people ask about Japan. But anyway, as I am Gaijin Quest, I have the quest to be a Gaijin. And, you know, that is part of it, enlightening people. Be a missionary about questions that everybody is asking themselves and answering them with truth. So let's get into it. You can see my screen here right now, I think. And the first question that pops up if I type in "is Japan" into Google is Japan expensive? Well, let's put it like this. Out of my experience, the only thing that you want to buy when you go to Japan are waifu pillows or action figurines. There's nothing else you will buy. It's either waifu pillows or you're gonna buy that weep. Hey. Here's a few images of it. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, but these things, they're expensive. So in conclusion, Japan is expensive. All my waifu pillows that I have stored back there in this huge room I have only for waifu pillows, they were around $200 to $1,500 per piece. So when I, the super connoisseur about waifu pillows, which is the only thing that interests us gaijins anyway, tells you something about expensive products in Japan, you should listen to him. 'Cause obvious reasons. Okay, so let's get into another question. Is Japan a country? How can you ask something like that? It's such an obvious answer to this question. I cannot believe that anyone would type this into Google and not know that Japan is part of China. How can you not know this? Obviously, if you have some merch stuff from Japan, like if I take this boy and I look on the etiquette here, right? It says made in China. It obviously, look here. I don't know if you can see this, but here it says made in China. What other evidence do you need? Get fact checked there, bitch.
Hey, stop! Why?
Is Japan a developed country? The only things that you could call developed in Japan are the waifu pillows, which are a beautiful work of art for us gaijins here, and the games that they produce like Mario Land 2 and Donkey Kong Island 2 and all those other games with a 2 at the end. Is Japanese a race? I mean, conventionally, a race would be defined by having a track, right? And you run the track until you reach the goal. But in Japanese, there is no real ending to it, and I don't really see a track. I think there are multiple ways to go about learning Japanese. Thus, Japanese is not a race. You don't have to be the fastest to be able to speak Japanese, right? So I think Japanese is not a race. Don't rush your Japanese studies. It's fine if you're not in a race with somebody. Is Japanese hard to learn? Good question. The way I would go about answering questions like these is compare a hard object with the thing you want to test about hardness, right? Because if the hard object is harder than the thing you want to compare it to, then obviously this one will be not hard, right? So Japanese is something that's not tangible, thus Japanese is not hard. Yes, that's something I just said. Is Japanese food healthy? I mean, depends, because if you count a Wagyu beef as food, right, it comes from the cow. And now the cow can have different kind of diseases, and if it has a disease, it is not healthy. So having a not healthy cow become your Wagyu beef could be counted as not healthy food, right? So depending on the cow, Japanese food is not healthy, but it could also just be healthy if you take a healthy cow. Is Japanese ramen healthy? Depends. Like, if you take a vegan ramen, then maybe yes, because I've read on the internet that everything that is vegan is healthy, so I guess it has to be healthy, right, if it is a vegan ramen. But in general, I would take the argument of saying no, and that comes from my experience with ramen. I have put my finger into a ramen once before, and it hurt like a so I don't think that having a hurt on your finger, like a boo-boo here, I don't think that is considered something healthy because it hurts you. It's like eating a spicy chicken, like that's not healthy for you, it hurts, right? So hurting ramen is not healthy for you, especially if you put your finger inside. Don't put your finger into ramen. So let's type in something else. Are the Japanese still whaling? I mean, good question. I've never ridden a whale, but I think the Japanese are very skilled at it. I've been to Fukuoka a few times now, right? So I'm an expert about Japan because I've been to Fukuoka, obviously. People were riding whales inside the city. Could you believe that? I mean, I was sitting in a Yoshinoya eating my gyudon there, and then I saw a huge thing just speed by me with like 150 kmh. Kilometer per hours. I don't know if you say kmh, but you know, English. But the whale was huge. So yeah, I think the Japanese are still whaling. Are the Japanese Hornets in the US? I mean, the Hornets are a really good baseball team, but I don't think they're still in the US. I think they're already back in Japan because of the whole crisis that is going on right now, right? But I think they're really good at baseball. It's an amazing team. I'm super for the Hornets. I have a lot of Hornets merch back in my waifu chamber back there. And yeah, it's a great team. Definitely support the Hornets. Let's go Hornets. Are the Japanese tea gardens open? From my experience, I've went into a tea garden before, and they were quite upset by me being naked there. So I don't think they're open to everyone. I think they're closed probably, so don't go into a Japanese tea garden if you don't have any clothes with you. It's just my personal recommendation. I don't really know about their culture when it comes to Japanese tea gardens, but I'm pretty sure they don't like naked people in their gardens, even though I was, you know, giving them some fertilizer, but that didn't help with my arguments. So they were quite upset about me being there. Yeah, okay, I think this is enough about Google and Japan. I think we should stop this video here because I'm getting tired of doing too much speaking. But what I want you to do is subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and you could win this empty box with a bunny on it. If you want this empty box with a bunny on it, please leave a like and subscribe. And then comment, I want the bunny, and tell me why. If your comment is the most compelling one, I might send you this bunny on a box. So without further ado, I will see you in the next video. Have a nice day.